And, just to kick off the week vizuri, I told you guys we're having, some important conversations. It's all about the financial stories we inherited, money trauma, stories that you got from your folks. They made you have like a broke mindset. I'm a wasteful money mindset, if I can put it like that. And, so in studio, I have the one, the only Jane Wambui Gitiche. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yes, Gitiche.
Gitiche. Awesome. Finance and investment strategist, an author, and informative speaker, founder and CEO as well. Welcome, Jane. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Kev.
It's good to have you. Yeah. How was your weekend?
A bit stressful, but good.
Yeah.
But I think polite.
Polite, yeah?
Yeah, the kids are away, so...
Nice. So it's one of those weekends where you just have to spend time by yourself or what?
Yes. Wondering, what do I do? They are away. What do I always do when I'm alone?
So, how would you describe your 2025?
Wow. It has been great.
Yeah.
It had its moments, but it was, when I look back, actually the other day I was just looking and looking how it has been, because I always do that 2 weeks towards the end of the year.
Yeah, like an audit.
Yeah, like a proper audit of the whole year. I'm still doing it, but I realized I achieved actually one major goal, launching my second book, Wealth
Nice.
Away.
Yeah.
We also did our first
Which I have over here.
we also did our first annual Wealth Summit.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was La Japesh Wealth Summit, and I hope to do it every year so that at least we can bring in people, those who already know about, have built wealth, and those who are struggling, and those who can learn. So it was all about that mix.
Yeah.
I also graduated my master's. I also went back to do my doctorate. So I look at the year, it has been, I think it was good.
Very
but
successful.
of course it had its own downs,
I know. I mean, naturally, because I've seen many Kenyans talking about, the economy.
Yeah.
It's been a bit volatile for them. Guys have had to make extreme decisions in terms of the money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Letting go of employees sometimes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Tough decisions come along that
Can imagine.
side. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, tell us about your company.
So Japesh Financial Solutions is... it's an arm of two. So we have the coaching and training side, and then we have like Japesh Campus.
Yeah.
So for Japesh Financial Solution side, we do one-on-one training on personal finance, business strategy, depending on either a small business or a big company. We basically look at the health of your company and we give financial strategy in regards to that.
Yeah.
Then there's the side of Japesh Campus, where we do master classes for both adults and kids.
Right.
And especially for the adults, we only have one class that takes about 10 weeks, once a week.
Yeah.
But for the kids, we have grouped them into different ages, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 19, 20 to 25.
Yeah.
So that at least what I'm trying to aim is at least we raise a generation whereby people can be different from us.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. On the other side of Japesh,
so when you say different from us, you mean millennials
and Gen Z.
What's wrong with us?
We were never taught about money.
It's true. We're not so financially literate.
We are not.
And it's so sad, man.
And sometimes you look at, people assume they know, but it's just basically just getting information. And we believe in the traditional way of finances, and that one makes us not to make rational decisions. But if you look at how things are supposed, human beings are more biased. We go under influence. We are afraid, and so that one makes us not to make rational decisions when it comes to money. This is where you find a Kenyan typically who earns 50,000 we can build wealth basically. But that one who is earning 500,000 will struggle much into debt and all that. Basically because millennials, we pretend we know. We have the knowledge, but just having that reading knowledge doesn't define that we will make good money decisions. So it's time, why I'm so passionate about the kids, it's time we raise a Gen Alpha that is way much better than us. But also for the class, we always have one class for the parents, because we will teach this kid, but when they come at home, they need to have at least something,
Yeah.
you need to practice with them.
Yeah.
So that is all about that.
I love it. You're really adding so much value to the country. You're very resourceful. Let me ask you, talk to me about your background. Where were you raised? Are you like from a wealthy family or something?
Wow, I wish. I wish.
What? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was raised in my mom is listening to this, yeah? I was raised from a background where money was a bit scarce. And so how I grew up and looking at us, we were, you see the way like siblings are very gapped. Like between me and my sister, it's almost 8 years.
What?
Between her
You're
and
the
the
first
other
one?
one. No, I'm the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Like between
What?
the other one and the other, like we are
Yeah.
4 siblings.
Right.
But looking at, yes, we grew up like almost like an alone kid.
Yeah.
But if I look at myself, I look at our younger brother, it's so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
He learned about money market when he was 18 because of us.
Nice.
I learned about money market and saving when I was 20, almost 27, 28.
Right.
Because you see, so I look at that gap. When I was growing up, money was scarce. When he was growing up, at least it was slightly there and the knowledge was there. So if I look at my character and what has built me over time from how I grew up, it's a lot way much deeper and different. I find myself, if I look at the relationship that I have with my money, I'm a spender. Yes, and people have different money personalities depending on how we grew up.
Yeah.
I spend because I grew up without. So I find solace in that.
Yeah.
And if you're a spender like me, until you realize the
Yeah.
personality that you have, you might end up ruining the future that you call tomorrow.
So you said something so profound. Different folks have different money personalities depending
Yes.
on how they grew up.
Yes.
So many people, no, I don't want to say many. Some folks grew up in a person and they have a personality that's associated with abundance.
Yes.
Because they saw maybe good money manners around maybe their parents and the people who are around them. Some people have like a scarce fear mentality around money, and it's affected their money personality, right?
Yes.
And I think that's the basis of our conversation this evening,
Yes.
right? So when I shared with you this topic, money trauma,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, we've inherited some of these
Traumas.
characters, money personalities, or whatever the way you put it. So from your perspective, how would you define, because I know you've engaged with many Kenyans who seek your help.
Yeah.
They come to your company and they're like, you know what, Jane, you got to sort me out. My personality is wanting.
Well, first, they don't even know their personality. We
What?
begin there. Yes.
They don't know how to
They
categorize
don't know how
themselves.
to categorize themselves. That's where we begin.
So from your perception, Amma, from your perspective, I'm sure you've noticed like a pattern.
Yeah.
What's the personality that majority of Kenyans have? The money personality. How would you define it?
If I look, someone can have 2 personalities. But majorly, most of us are either overspenders or the hustler personality. I'll explain what it means. Rarely we find the investor. We also have a lot of savers.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some might lie with the overgiver. The spender, this is that person who really spends a lot and they do a lot of impulse buying.
Right.
To maybe satisfy their status, to satisfy something. Maybe they are stressed, lonely, or they just want to spend because when they were growing up, they used to be told like, hakuna pesa. There's no much money. You want to buy it like that shoe, there's no much money. Recently, I was in a training somewhere, and this person said they had to import their couch from UK.
And what was the
Just
reasoning?
because when they were growing up, they were told like they didn't grow up with seats.
Yeah.
So you see that person is trying to justify, I need to get the best seat. But you see, in reality, you can get a local seat, that extra money,
That's just
get
as good.
Yeah, you find something to do. Then there is that person who is the saver. You see, these people who grew up in families where they were told like, Pessah, hakuna iko very... This one, the money that we get can only pay your school fees. The money that we get can only pay the bills. The money that we get can only pay rent. So that person grew up knowing money is only for saving
Yeah.
and we can only do specific things with that money. So this person tends to have the personality of over-saving, and they hoard so much money. Then there is overgiver, because we grew up in a society that we were told we have to help either our siblings, we have to help the society, we have to help the community. So this person, anytime they get money, especially this festive season, wakienda shags, they will really give out until someone can even get into debt trying to help a sibling, someone can get into debt trying to help a cousin. So I think around that, those three, also there's also the avoider.
Oh, the stingy guys.
The avoider is
okay,
someone who doesn't want to learn anything about. They don't want.
Yeah,
they don't want to look at their statements. They don't want. If you tell them that is the avoider. They want, like, you tell them, I'll pay for you a masterclass in finance. They don't want to even get in. And most men, sometimes
it's mostly men. Yeah.
Tell me how many men often go to a class to learn about finances and investment. Rare.
What?
You find my class, sometimes you find there are more ladies.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Than the guys. And then
what do you think is going on with the men? I mean, how did they develop this disinterest?
So sometimes men have the two personalities, the avoider and the hustler. The hustler side is the overworker. This person cannot rest. They work and work and work.
Yeah.
This person might have several side hustles.
Yeah.
But they don't have a structure because they avoid money conversations.
Right.
So they have that. Most men have that the two personalities: the overworker and the avoider, and that one is terrible because they won't have a proper structure and they won't have systems to manage the money that they get.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, and then also we don't want to find out what we're scared of finding out.
Yeah, and why we develop.
Yeah, we're scared to know. I'm to realize that we've been making mistakes all our lives, and our families could have been in a better position
to help.
Yeah, and we would have put our families in a better financial position if, for example, we had to learn some of this knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most men, it's an ego. It's an ego thing. You know what you know what I mean? So let me ask you, what's the ultimate personality?
Wow, the investor. But at the same time, the ultimate, I think the investor.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, you can't have just one personality, because the investor needs to have bits of at least spending and bits of at least saving and all that. But generally, the investor is the overall personality. This is someone who takes risk, is able to not just to hoard money like in just savings places. They are able to articulate. I have seen an opportunity popping up. At least they are able to calculate the risk of that opportunity, and they are able to take that risk. And this is that person also goes ahead and understands, gets the knowledge that is necessary to, just equips themselves with knowledge, and they do their planning properly. They track their spending. They do budgeting the proper way. The investor basically is the overall
That's amazing.
Good
I like how you put it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I know typically in Africa, most people are living below the poverty line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of scarcity in some families. And due to that, it's affected how we perceive money.
Yeah.
There's some sort of fear.
Yeah.
Especially now when it comes to the extreme sides of spending. Either you don't want to spend it because you're scared of losing it, or you overspend because now you think, if I overspend, I'll get off the poverty line. I'm not going to be looked at as somebody who's poor. For example, I was even talking to my friend, and we established that's probably one of the reasons politicians end up engaging in corruption, because they grew up in scarcity.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, if I just get all these, if I accumulate all these resources, then I'll get off the poverty line.
Yeah.
It's like a trauma thing going on. For folks who grew up in that environment, and they're listening to us, and they're thinking, okay, fine, I might not be able to afford your program. What are some of the things that they can do? Even if they don't have
that
money to go and invest, how can they actually switch their money personality?
Yeah.
And so that even in future, when they have a bit of resources, they've accumulated enough money, they can now start investing. What are some of the practical things that they can start doing now?
So I'll answer in two ways, yeah. The first side, because when we grew up, like you've said, we grew up with a lot of emotions, a lot of things that we observed and all that. First, we look at the emotional side, yeah. You need to acknowledge and be aware of where you are. What is that thing that triggers you when it comes to money?
Right.
Ask yourself if... there are those people who they earn, but they'll never look at their bank account.
Yeah, okay.
And that comes with the emotional side of it. First is awareness. Be aware of where your trauma comes from. Be aware of, if we talk about money, what does it trigger in your mind?
Yeah.
And then identify your personality with money and identify the relationship you have with your money. That is the emotional side. You have to, the awareness first has to be there.
Yeah.
Then now we come to the practical side.
Yeah.
It's basically what we always teach. First, you need to start tracking your money and take money as a tool. Let's control that money. Let money not to control you. What do I mean by this? When I say tracking your money, I don't mean like as in, Kev, when you go you start tracking every shilling.
Right.
It can be cumbersome, yeah. But you start with maybe starting with tracking. You can do it easily with a budget.
Right.
So create a budget. And we actually have a budgeting tool that goes for 500 Kenya shillings. So easy to use.
Oh, that's affordable. Yeah.
It's an Excel budgeting tool.
Nice.
So you start with that. If you can't afford that budgeting tool, write down, this is my rent, this is how much I spend on transport, on food and all that. Get that number in your head. Then once the money comes in, you're able to at least, this will go here, this will go here. You're able to tell your money what to do. After budgeting, create an emergency fund.
Right.
Very important before even investing or saving, because any emergency coming up will not make you go into debt. You are able to at least create a buffer to sort that out. So, and when I talk about creating an emergency fund, most people always think they will jump once, Salwa this month.
Straight to the emergency.
No. Create an emergency fund over you can put for 2 to 3 years, make it as your medium term goal, so that it doesn't strain you. But the moment you get to that, maybe 6 to 12 months of either expenses or your income, depending on where you are, you can decide. Then after that, after creating the emergency fund, get the protective measures that are needed. What do I mean by this? Yeah, is it a health insurance that you need? Is it protecting your business? Take an insurance cover or for anything the protecting side of it. Then now start investing.
That makes sense.
And when you start investing, you first have to identify your risk profile. Don't just go investing just because people are investing. I forgot a very major thing that you also need to do before investing. Write down your goals. Don't just go investing just because maybe, Kev, you get, maybe we talk, there are T-bills, there are MMFs, there are everything. You just jump into it.
Right.
Sit down with yourself, write a vision for your future.
Yeah.
I want to do this and this and this. These are my goals. Yeah. Then out of the goals, you identify now the vehicle that you will use to invest.
Achieve the goals.
Yes.
Or to invest and then, of course, achieve the goals.
Yes. We call that goal-based investing, basically. So that when you're even working, you know why you're working. Yeah. So I think that is the practical side of things. And then, of course, once you start investing and you have achieved that, do legacy planning.
Yeah.
I know people hate this one.
Maybe you can just quickly define what that is about.
Legacy planning is all about writing wills. It's all about having a trust.
Yeah.
It's all about spreading financial literacy to your heirs. Because you see, most families, sometimes if they don't do proper legacy planning, we are raising these kids, we don't spread financial literacy to them. We have a lot of money, and then God forbid kaput, you're no more there. These heirs you leave behind, you didn't leave a will, you didn't leave either a trust. Chaos starts coming up. Maybe you left a will, but it can be need in court, right? If you did a good proper trust, especially for those people who have at least started to build wealth, it's okay to do that. And when I talk about trust, there's the trust fund, there's the trust as a company. It's a whole new thing that people need to start doing. And I think Kenyans have started embracing this, so that this person, that the heirs you leave behind, or rather the people who depend on you, they will be able to know, mommy and daddy had this amount of money, but when I grew up, I understood how to maneuver about that money. If I'm left a chunk of huge wealth, I know what to do next.
It's true.
But there are people who look at their kids and they're like, even if I leave them money, they can, man, it will be something else. So they leave a structure, and that is now where trust comes in. They leave a structure, insisting with giving instruction. This money will go to educare. This money will go to my grandkids' educare, like that.
Exactly.
So you can be able to...
Yeah, and the monies are protected by the law.
Very. And also you enjoy tax benefits.
Exactly. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, very briefly, before we take a short break,
okay,
what are some of the ways folks can be instilling a very scarcity money personality to their heirs or to their children without even knowing that you've observed?
Wow.
Because you might be thinking you're here, doing the right thing. You're telling your kids, you're telling, I don't know, this. I don't want to give my own story, because if I do, I'll write a book. There's certain things that my mom used to say, and I'm just like, you don't know what you're doing to me, Linda. Linda's my sister. You're just telling, Kevin, I'm on the loan. You guys are struggling to pay it. But, she made us feel like money was not a good thing, in the sense that it was stressing her so much. Actually, I feared money because I saw what it was doing to my mom. You know what I mean? And we had a bit of money. Yeah, but she was always complaining.
You're lucky.
She was always complaining. So what are some of the ways, real quick, we could be instilling a scarcity money personality onto our kids, and to the people around us, without us knowing, regardless of the fact that maybe we have a bit of money going on. Yeah, there's a bit of abundance.
So now,
anything like
if I look at to answer your question, if you all, like especially millennials, we are trying to compensate so much of what our parents did. And so that one, sometimes it's not even about scarcity. We overgive without boundaries. You find that a child comes and tells you, Mommy, I want this toy. You immediately satisfy that gratification. You're really ruining that kid's future, because they will always know money is always there, which is never the case.
Okay.
Because in the end, that child might understand it's okay to take debt to satisfy my gratification. There's also this other side that maybe someone, because the way we learned and feared money, you find this person, because they learned fearing money. So when these kids are growing up, we end up overcompensating, like what I have said, And this kid comes and tells you, Mommy, there's this project that I want to take, and you, without even understanding what that project is all about, you just give them a go ahead. It's time for us to start showing our kids, especially maybe the age of below. Maybe we will talk about ages and how you can train your kids and all that. But we are doing it all wrong, and most parents are doing it all wrong to our kids.
Right.
When a kid asks you where you work and all that, sometimes we assume and tell them, Mommy, what do you want? We don't listen to what they really want. Sometimes we find, like, most of us, have you told your kids what you do to get money? We don't. Some parents don't. So do you tell your kids when you get a loan? You don't. So, and sometimes some parents,
and you think it's necessary to tell them?
It's necessary. If I'm getting a loan, I have to explain, especially kids who are above 10. Explain to them we are getting a loan for this and this and
this. But now you see the problem is, when you're explaining to them, you're explaining out of fear and out of disappointment. It's like you're blaming these kids for putting in, for example, talking about school fees. Sasa nimehave kuchukua loan, and you guys call me later. Stuff like that. I
can know that one. You're putting what you learned from your parents to these kids, honestly. And when they grow up, they won't be different from how you are. If I'm taking a loan, I just sit down with them and explain to them why people take loans.
Exactly.
And loans are for this and this and this. But the moment you are taking loan for school fees, it's okay. But at the same time, let them understand in a polite way. let them understand there is taking debts, but the debt has to, like, people need to take debt with a plan. Me, I took a debt when story for another day, but I wish I had someone to explain to me, you don't just take a debt without a plan.
Correct.
You need to have a strategy for that debt. There's this other side, like people arguing in front of the kids about money, about bills. Let me tell you, that kid is learning something. And how we grew up, the same way, because we saw, like, sometimes parents arguing about money. Apana, sitalipa hiyo, nini, you guys are overspending, you guys are over doing this. Instead of all doing all that, sit down with these kids, do a budget, a home budget with them.
Wow.
Let them understand, rent, we pay this much, food, we spend this much. So sometimes mommy and daddy might not have enough money to do this because of this and this and this.
Yeah.
But let's plan for it. If you needed to buy a bicycle for your 8th birthday or something, we plan for it. We are putting aside money for this, and this is called a sinking fund, because currently this is the situation we have at home in terms of money. So it comes, and how we grew up is how we are still continuing doing when it comes to the kids. We don't have boundaries when it comes to arguing about bills. We're not asking for, like, why people are doing the things they are doing with money. So I think that's
so powerful. Man, like, okay, fine. I mean, this is serious knowledge, but it just reminds me of this very powerful word, the generational wealth. It's also not just about the actual money. It's about the habits
and passing down the knowledge.
Hold it right there. What? It's a fire conversation, guys. In the building, I've got the one, the only, Jane Gitiche. Right now, Jane is here talking to us about this very powerful conversation about money trauma. Basically, your money personality, the financial stories we inherited. Jane Wambui Gitiche is a finance and investment strategist, an author of amazing books that she has with me. She's given me actually over here. We'll talk about the books in just a bit. She's also a transformative speaker, founder, and CEO. She's a finance investment strategist, an author, transformative speaker, founder, as well as CEO. We're having a conversation about money trauma, the financial stories we inherited from our folks, not just folks, just the people around us. You know what I mean? It could be our friends, guardian, teachers, the media. It's interesting, right? So let's keep it moving. Jane, powerful stuff you're talking about over here. Money trauma, it just comes in different ways, isn't it? Yeah. Now, let's talk about, for the people who feel, okay, fine, somebody's listening to you right now, they're like, oh my God, I'm guilty. I feel like, Jane is just describing my habits, and I'm kind of scared to actually get the education so that I can make some changes in my life. Yeah. The hustle in Kenya is it's common, and of course it pays off in one way or the other. Yeah. So, what are some of the things I can do, while I'm out there, as much as I'm guilty, as much as I'm kidogo secure with my money, to ensure that I'm investing in my values. My goals are, they're a priority. And how do you even describe, define what's a value and what is just a waste? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because now at some point, people have to now be realistic, right? It's interesting because there's somebody who was telling me, Kevin, a holiday is not a value. But I'm like,
it is.
I need to rest, So how can I know the difference between what's necessary, what's unnecessary in terms of my goals and investments?
Okay. Wow. Okay,
we have to get it right in 2026.
We have to.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to knowing the value and what is a waste, the first basic thing that someone needs to do is to have a vision and write down all the goals that they think are good to them. Because you cannot go investing without a goal in mind. When I say a vision, have a vision for your life for the next 20 years, for the next 10 years, for the next maybe 5 years. But I will always advocate for the next more than 10 years. Because out of that now, you turn down, that is my long-term goals. Then you come to your medium-term goals and your short-term goals. Then remember, like I've authored the book and called it Wealth Away. Remember, different wealth, do it your own way. How you view wealth is not the same way I view wealth. And that is the biggest mistake most of us, or rather most Kenyans, make. You think like how you do your investment is the same way I need to do my investment. A person like saying going for a holiday is a waste of time. Me, I value going for a holiday, and that one for me is a good investment. Write it down. I need to go to this and this holiday. Will it be a short-term goal? Will it be a medium-term goal? If it's local, it's maybe definitely a short-term goal, less than maybe 1 year or 1 to 2 years. If it's maybe international, you plan for it 3 to 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Depending. But basically, that is the starting point. Write down all your goals.
Yeah.
As all your investment goals, or rather we call them financial goals. Then from there, give them a number, so that realistically you'll be knowing I'm investing with a goal in my head, and this is what I want to achieve. Anything coming or rather falling is a waste, basically, because you never wrote it down.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Now you get. Yes. So do goal-based investing.
Goal-based investing, I like that. So you got to write down your goals.
You have to.
One other thing I'll take away from what you just said is don't let people define for you what's important and what's not.
No, do wealth your own way.
Do wealth your own way.
Yes, because we all have, like the way people go with hype, the way people go with, no, my friend is doing this, I have to do with this.
Yeah.
That is how people end up with a lot of debt. That is how people end up with stress. That is how people end up with hating where they work, or rather hating the job they have.
Yeah.
Because wherever they are trying to catch up is not the same with what they really need. It's what their friends are doing.
So when we started this conversation, speaking of friends and the people around us, and of course, ignoring influence from people out there, you need to know yourself.
You need to.
Yeah. So you wrote this book over here, Wealth Her Way.
Yes.
I get the vibe that you're targeting women.
No.
Okay, interesting. Okay. What's the idea? Her way.
It's for women, yes. It's every story about women, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant, actually.
But it's supposed to be read by everyone.
Of course.
Why I targeted women, or rather why I wrote a book about women.
Yeah.
We're mostly told women were the backbones of our families.
Yeah.
Women were good with money. Women were all those stories.
Right.
But deep down, when you look at that responsibility, you find this person fears to invest. You find this person has a lot of trauma because of financial betrayals from maybe partners or secrets from their partners.
So this person you're talking mostly women?
Yes.
Okay.
This person is women, because the book is about women. And those are the stories I've shared, actually.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You find this woman who is a widow.
Yeah.
And maybe was left a lot of wealth, but the sons or the daughters come and take everything, and now this woman has to go begging for even 2,000 Kenya shillings. Like, it's a book about stories that women go through.
Oh, so it's a collection of stories.
It's a collection of different stories and different solutions.
Yeah, obviously from a Kenyan context.
A lot. Actually, almost everything. The stories, some of the stories I shared, I even had, you see the way you have like a blockage and wondering, how do I tell these stories?
Yeah.
But it's about that. But at the same time, has financial principles and the solutions to whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
Be it, also it has sisterhood with money, all that stories, investment. Women fear investing a lot.
Is that right?
Because they are risk averse. We are risk averse people compared to men.
So I was going to ask you now, bouncing off that statement that you just made over there, the risk averse.
Yeah.
So our topic obviously is about, money trauma. Some of the things that we've inherited from previous generations, our parents. So are you telling me it's mostly women who go through this trauma?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I will say all of us. The only difference is...
Because you also told me in some of these programs...
Yes.
Financial literacy, it's actually women who are the most.
So why I say that, it's both women and men who go through the trauma, money trauma. The only difference is women have accepted and they are aware. So they try to get a solution to what they are going through.
Okay.
And that is now why...
I'm with you.
Yes, and that is now why the women of now, they're more informed, they look for ways. We go for this Wealth Summit, we go for all these, you find that these workshops that are done by to get knowledge, majorly women. But now the man is left behind dealing with the trauma alone. And that is now why there is a lot of secrecy with even partners. And who brings that? The man. Because Okay, I don't want to talk about the men's side, but I don't know what you guys go through, but
Yeah.
I think that is the reason why now.
Yeah.
And when it comes outside, you find people like us writing more about women
Yeah.
because we know their stories and
So
we share.
the bit of information that I have, excuse my ignorance, I think men are just very rigid
Yeah,
when it comes to, of course, sharing our
stories.
just openly talking about our money personalities and habits. We've learnt from people, maybe by observing,
Yeah.
especially our friends, or maybe our successful friends, some people, our circle basically, or even our parents. I don't want to say it, our dads only. And so that knowledge that we have, as much as it's very nuanced, we think it's enough. I don't have to learn some more, even if it's knowledge that's leading me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I think it's just ego. You know what I mean? And but I'm also seeing younger men changing
Actually,
that whole
yes.
narrative.
Yeah.
They're more open with their mistakes
and learning.
So that's a good thing.
Even like when I have like the coaching one-on-one coaching session, a man might not accept the coaching session, but they will want a training session. So I always do pick my brain session or coaching session, whereby if it's picking my brain, you just give me topics, we analyze and you learn about the topics. I give you how to go about this and this and this. So most men go for that option because the coaching side, I have to learn about your numbers and they don't want to disclose. But for women, it's the vice versa. But the upcoming generation is really changing, and some are at least going a notch higher and trying to understand. But now the older millennial, that's Kizungu.
So I know you've touched on this thing I just need you to clarify some more. How do we audit our money habits and personalities so that we can find out whether we are actually going through some sort of trauma? How do you actually sit down and say, okay, fine, hold up? I mean, it's at the end of the year. When we started the conversation, you also mentioned how you're doing your own audit. So for somebody who is listening to you and they want to audit, how do they actually start? They have no receipts. You know what I mean? It's been a very long, eventful year, ups and downs. So how do they actually find out whether their money personalities? What are some of the things that they can do?
First, you need to ask yourself, if at all you're auditing the whole year, you need to ask, in the beginning of the year, what did I want to achieve? Have I achieved what I wanted to achieve? Did my vision, anything come to light, or halfway the year? And most people do that. They dropped some of their goals. But when it comes to money personality, the first thing that you need to ask, what do I think about money when it comes to the word, like the world of money? What do I think? Am I scared? Do I fear money? Am I anxious about money? Do I want to learn about that money? So basically, that is where you start. At least analyze when it comes to money, what am I taking money as a tool, or am I taking money to identify myself with that money? So those are the basic things that you need to ask yourself. Then you come to when it comes to earning, am I afraid to ask for a raise? Do I negotiate better when it comes to salary? Am I stuck in a job because I'm afraid to lose that money? Because most people are stuck because of that money. So when it comes to spending,
even if they know there's no potential for growth,
yes, they are just stuck there because they fear. And like we said, trauma when it came to growing up. You find that this person, maybe when they were growing up, they lost maybe a business, or rather the dad maybe lost a job and things really changed. So this person will always be stuck in somewhere because they fear losing, or rather going back to those memories. Or sometimes you find that maybe this person used to kufukuzwa juu ya school fees, maybe going home because of that. So you find this person will always be stuck somewhere because they fear negotiating, thinking they might be fired or let go. So when it comes to earning that, when it comes to spending, you need to ask yourself, am I spending because I'm stressed? Am I spending because I'm lonely? Am I spending because I want to satisfy a social status? Or am I spending just to show like people I have a good lifestyle? Am I spending just because I can afford? without a plan, basically. So, and then when it comes to saving,
That's me. That's what you just mentioned. I can afford,
yeah,
but I have no plan.
but you had no plan of spending. So that is earning, that is spending. When it comes to saving, you need to ask yourself, why do I save? Am I over saving to maybe to satisfy when I was growing up, maybe money was being told it's scarce, hakuna pesa, money is for the rich, So you find that, am I saving too much, even avoiding to have little joys for myself?
What?
So hoarding too much. And at the same time, this hoarding means you feel unsafe, like trying to invest because of how you grew up.
Yeah.
So that is also another way to analyze and get to your money personality. And there's this other side. Am I not saving at all? Because when money comes in, you just, poof, acha niitumie yote. Let me just use that money because, tomorrow will sort itself.
One of the crazy things I've heard about that, what you just said over there.
Yeah.
Some people say to you, Kevo, money likes being spent. The more you spend, you get, the more you receive.
Nothing. Zero. I'm telling you, that person, when they analyze deeply, there is something they are battling.
What?
When they were growing up, yeah. And we have so many people who do that. Money comes in, let me spend. Kesho, money will still come in. But that's not the case.
It's never the case.
It's never the case.
Okay, real quick. And you've actually you reiterated this thing, but I just need you to clarify again. Let's talk about now the healing process. What's the one thing people can do today, apart from investing? Today, to rewire their money habits, their money personality. Because obviously, it's painful. Some of us have been doing the wrong thing. We're just going with the flow. So we want to heal. What's the one thing I can do right after this interview at 8:30? Yeah.
Before I get to your question, there's also the investing side. Yeah. There's people who just rush into investment. Anytime they hear a hype, they jump into an investment. Anytime the crypto is there, they jump into it.
Right.
And that one also has like a healing side of money. So what can someone do? First, sit down, do a plan for your money. Remember when I said it's simple, the simple personal finance things.
Yeah.
Track that money,
Yeah.
budget that money, do an emergency, protect that money, then invest that money.
Okay.
But before all that, you have to be aware what triggers my money emotions.
Yeah.
That is the first step. After this, anyone, all of us need to understand what triggers my money emotions.
Yeah.
And so that after that, you can now be able to realize the healing side of it.
Now, with the holiday season being here right now, many folks feel pressure to spend beyond their means. And then, of course, we have this black tax thing.
Yeah.
Some guys are going to the village. And by the way, guys, if you're headed to the village, you're probably driving right now to Sijui, whatever. Itusiku, please be safe. Yeah, we've seen a lot of very unnecessary things happening on the roads. How can we spend money safely during the holidays, regardless of the pressures from our family members, from society, and also, to add on that, how can we spend without feeling guilty or regretful? Because I know in January you guys are going to be like, damn, I shouldn't even have gone home. Damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you're being a miser. So how do we find a balance, right? How do we avoid the pressure to overspend, but at the same time, you don't want to be guilty. You don't want to start regretting. There's a lot going on in that question.
Yeah. Wow. This question should have been done in November. But anyway.
I know. Yeah.
But it's okay. Right now, I wouldn't tell people to do a budget. Right now, I'll tell people to do a spending plan. What do I mean by this, yeah? Put aside a specific amount of money for everything that you need to do over the Christmas holiday. But also have in mind, January bills are coming. So what do you do when it comes to spending planning? Form a plan for spending. If you have stated aside, this is my money that I need to travel with, make sure that you just specifically travel with that money without getting another flow of money somewhere, or rather umeenda and maybe something comes up and you need to cater for it. Don't.
Oh.
Then you make another plan for, remember I said spending. if it comes to kids and gifting, be specific. If you had maybe planned to spend this much on gifts, don't go past that.
Right.
When we go to shags, many people like want to show people like we tulifika, our status, I'm working, don't do that. It's okay to say no. And that is very important thing for people to understand. It's okay to say no to people who we love, especially in shags. You find that aunt, you find that uncle, because they know you're working, you just dish out your money. Please don't.
Yeah.
This time, say hi, Merry Christmas, and that's it. Okay. Next year, you can
plan for something.
For something to do for them.
Yeah.
But if at all this year you haven't done a Christmas budget, don't. Now prepare just a spending plan.
Okay.
But if you already planned for a Christmas budget and you know everywhere where it's going, enjoy. It's time to relax and have fun. Enjoy that money without feeling any guilt. But spending without, if you didn't have any budget, spend with a plan. If you go to the malls, go with a list.
Wow, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because there's so many offers around and you realize, I needed that blend, I needed that. If you didn't, just let it be, and
that is such a powerful thing you said.
Plan for it another time.
If
it's hosting our families, stick to a meal that you can be able to afford at that moment. Don't overdo or overbuy drinks, overbuy things just because you want to show your family that you can afford. Stick to a simple meal, basically prepare a spending plan. And if you can, pay for all major January bills now. The moment you get your December pay.
I've already done my shopping for January.
Yeah.
Good.
Have you paid school fees?
Well, that one. We'll see.
For sure. Pay your school fees before even that.
There's a budget for that already.
Before that, all that. Like for those people, pay everything, the major bills. And if you're doing the shopping for January, do now. And at least now you'll have... there's also another thing that people get themselves into. People will do all those, but Christmas comes, the festives come, they end up getting a bit of debt so that they can satisfy the things that they had not planned. And next year, I'm telling you, that debt comes and people start now taking salary advance, doing
I know, it's so unfortunate.
Yes, it goes, that debt that you simply took in December drags all the way to even mid-year. And some people go with that debt the whole year. You're still struggling to pay a debt that you would have avoided.
Over this past weekend, my cousin was telling me something so fascinating. So his kids are in some school, and just after they closed for the holidays, the school management encouraged them to pay school fees immediately if they have fans. You shouldn't even wait for the holidays to kick off. Kabisa, sort out first times fees, and I like that, because they are aware of certain things that can actually come up, behaviors from parents out there, and I like that. You know what I mean? And what about the emergency fund? How should we go about it?
So
because things do come up.
So for the emergency fund, you need to have prepared that.
Of course.
But now, in case things pop up, but you can only go up to a certain limit. And some emergencies, we don't have an option. That is why I keep telling people, the basic thing you first need to do is have an emergency, even way before even investing.
I agree.
Because anything pops up during this festive, where will people go get their money? Either in that investment plan that you had set aside or debt. So people need to, 2026, start. I don't have... Kev, do you have an emergency fund?
Of course.
If you don't have, start setting aside, and you don't have to build it at Iote once. But anytime an emergency pops up, look at your finances and look at to what extent can I be able to help.
Right.
But don't go way over and beyond. Taking way much debt to sort something. Okay,
so you want to walk us through planning for 2026? The holidays are done. At least we were not under pressure too much. It was a good good season, and let's just be positive. So now guys are kicking off the new year. What do we have to what are some of the foundations that we have to have going on in order to have a sort of successful 2026?
So for 2026, it's time people to change how they do when it comes to everyone is like, my resolution has to be like this, all that. Just do this, make a vision for the next 3 years. Then out of the 3 years, pick 2. Start working on 1.
Wow.
For 2026. Like you have the vision for maybe the next 5 years even, yeah? Write it down, take pictures of it, stick to your vision board, yeah? Take just 2. Out of the 2, analyze what is more important. Start working on 1. And out of starting on that 1, someone will be able now to start setting aside small money to achieve that goal. At the end of 2026, you'll sit down and see the milestone that you have achieved towards that goal. You might not even have completed achieving that goal, but at least you will be somewhere. So basically, that's the planning that I would tell people. And try as much as possible to plan before spending. Anytime an income comes in, sit down, do a simple budget. I was somewhere and people were like, hey, I think I'm over doing the small budgets because I get a lot of money. But I tell people, budgeting will never have at I have enough money, I have a lot of money. Budgeting is not like as in at I have to track every 50 shillings every what. It's just about getting a number that I cannot surpass when it comes to shopping, when it comes to fee, when it comes to rent. And anytime like in 2026, let's make a promise to each other. Listen up, please. If you get a raise, don't change the lifestyle that you have right now. Please. That extra income, put it aside or for your maybe investment or your saving account or your emergency. Stick with the same lifestyle that we have all over 2026.
Okay. Now, still in relation to that question, is there such a thing as unrealistic planning? And how does it look like? And how can we avoid that?
Yes, there's unrealistic planning, and most of us actually do that. We sit down with our spouse, we sit down with our partner, then we make goals that are not realistic in this way. We don't have a plan for both of us. And sometimes we find this, maybe I'll look at it in 2 ways. If you're a couple or rather a family, your partner has different goals. I have different goals. This one wants to build a home. I want to buy a big car. This one wants to buy a shamba. I want to build for my mom. You see, those goals will be unrealistic because they will not be achieved. But if you sat down together and understood these are your goals, these are my goals, what about the family goals? So this is our priority. You get? So we will start from here. There are some people who don't know like to do partnership and all that. And they also make unrealistic goals. Look at your finances basically. Are they able to cater for that goal that you're writing down? So basically unrealistic goals are there, but we need to look at our finances. Are they able to achieve what we are writing down? And like I said, even if it's like a 5-year, you can push it to 10 years so that it can be more realistic when it comes to the numbers.
I like that. Let's talk about your amazing books over here. I've got Wealth Her Way, Her Money, Her Dignity, Her Power, Her Way, A Woman's Guide to Financial Freedom. There's also and the cover, by the way, Robert, we'll look at this thing real quick so the folks can see it. The cover is just amazing.
Thank you.
I love it, and the texture of the book, it has a very feel-good vibe. And then also The Art to Master Your Finances. The cover is amazing as well, guys. You can have a look at that one right there. Yes, this is The Art to Master Your Finances, a comprehensive and effective guide to financial freedom. Let's start with this one, Wealth Her Way. Why did you choose this title for this book?
Because I needed people, or rather I needed every woman to start building wealth their own way. Because sometimes we find like most women, sometimes we have different sisterhood groups and all that. And sometimes we might be influenced easily to build wealth like my friend is doing, all that. So I needed to explain, or rather to speak to each and every woman, like it's okay to build wealth your own way. And I'm talking to that 20-year-old who has just started like a job, who has just gotten that salary. I'm speaking to that woman who is 30, trying to juggle family, trying to juggle creating more income. I'm talking to that woman who is 40, who is trying to, like we say, 40 is the power decade. Like now stabilizing and all that. I'm talking to that woman who is 50, who has seen it all, but at the same time still struggling maybe to maneuver around wealth. And I'm talking to the elder 60 and above, maybe
Yeah.
widow, maybe
She feels
separated.
like she wants to start afresh.
So, yes, start
Yeah.
afresh, rebuilding.
Rebuild.
Actually, there is actually a topic on rebuilding
nice.
after crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that book speaks to each and every woman depending
Yeah.
on the stage, or rather the status where you are.
Yeah.
So that is why I came up and wrote about it.
I love it. And
And it's not only for women, men
Yeah.
need also to read so that they can understand the world of
yeah, it's so relatable, like for many women out there, and I would encourage them to actually go and grab this book. There's a chapter over here you're talking about fearless investing for women. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It could be maybe some of the things that they've experienced in the past, but now you're encouraging them to actually take risks.
You find actually that topic is more speaking about investment, because the woman ask about all women. They only go to money market investing because that is the safest they know. If you get someone who is slightly informed, they will go to T-bills and bonds, and that is now where they draw the line and stop. But I'm telling that woman, you can take risk, learn about stocks, learn about global investment, learn about EFTs and all that. Try to also take a risk and understand.
What did you mean on this one? There's a chapter here you're saying her wealth is quiet but her confidence is loud. Sounds powerful, eh?
Yeah. Because most of our wealth, especially for women, it's a bit quiet. We don't go all the way looking for ways to build and create more and more wealth, but our confidence is always high.
Is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, but it at least should go hand in hand.
Yeah.
At least also the wealth should go high, at the same time the confidence goes high. So it should go hand in hand.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then also money in relationships. Wow, financial talks with partners. You kind of touched on that one.
Yeah.
By the way, in a situation where the woman sort of, probably earns a bit more than the man.
Yeah.
And obviously now you guys want to sit down as a family, including the kids. Yeah. So how does it play out? What's the right way to go about it? You know what I mean? Yeah. She's confident. She's loud. The guy is a bit too chill. He's chill. How do we? How does she? In fact, let me speak from a perspective of the female. How does the woman actually navigate this pressure? She knows very well. Maybe she's traditional. She knows it's the man who's the head of the family. You know what I mean? And she doesn't want to change that. But obviously she earns more. And the man is aware. But how do they actually build something solid without one of the partners feeling like they're not valued, or they're not an important player when it comes to financial decisions?
So with that, they need first to sit down as a family, make family goals, and make family financial goals and involve the kids. Then the woman and the man shouldn't think this is the amount of money. Maybe I'm getting 100, you're getting 80. It shouldn't be defined by that. They bring all the money together. And when I say bringing all the money together, I don't mean like all of you to open one account and every salary to come to that account. No.
Yeah.
What it means is, you have your own personal account and he has his own personal account, but we agree a certain percent. Maybe I'll remain with 20%. Each person, let each person remain with a certain percent. If it's 10, I always advocate on 10 for just the joy funds, for treating each other for birthdays. Then 90% we bring it together. Then we decide out of this will go to this will go to this will go to this. Now that one protects the ego of the man and protects also this woman, and especially in relating to decision financial decision. It will be easier for them to make both family financial decisions together without looking at this one is earning this one is earning this.
Yeah.
So that is, if in such a scenario, that is what I would advise.
Yeah.
Then there's this other side of scenario. The man is earning more, the woman is earning maybe pennies, and this woman has more ideas and is unable to talk to this man. So I've also given that scenario and given a solution. So because at least you need now to start having money conversation with your spouse.
Yeah.
And they should now start seeing you like an equal partner, and you start agreeing this money, we need to do this and this. So it's, when it comes to couples and money, I think I should write that book.
Yeah, it's all about communication. Yeah,
it's all about communication and understanding. Hey, a very major important thing, understanding your partner's money personality.
Oh, the what?
Yes, because Kev, you might realize maybe one partner is an overspender, the other partner is an investor. This investor will always see this partner as like someone who just picks money and spends. They will never understand. But as long as you two understand this is an overspender, this is an investor, you can form systems and structures to go about that. Yeah, so it's all about communication. And if you're not yet married, understand. Come for coaching.
Come for coaching. No, but it's real. It's
Do
true.
you know it's weird?
Yeah.
Gen Z come for coaching session as a couple before they get married.
Gen Z
I'm telling you, yeah,
No.
I've done for like 5.
in this country.
Yes.
Just a typical
Yes.
girlfriend, boyfriend.
Girlfriend, boyfriend. And I'm telling you, there's something we call
What?
financial secrecy. When you come for the coaching session, I mean, it will be, people will be able to disclose, yeah? And so when you're getting into that wedding, or rather that marriage, you know what you're getting yourself in.
No, I think you're absolutely right, because I feel like the best time to have these conversations is while you're planning for your your marriage.
Yes.
You need to know your partner's financial personality.
How it looks, because
you need to be prepared.
You need to, because sometimes have you got like friends who get into a marriage situation and then they realize their spouse has a huge debt, taking almost 50% of their income,
man.
and you feel betrayed, and you feel
like you should have told me.
You should have told me. Why didn't you mention it?
You're going to make people question the status, the marriages. No, but I love it. Okay, let's talk about the art to master your finances. This is a comprehensive and effective guide to financial freedom. I mean, the title is pretty obvious, but what inspired you? Maybe you can just give us some details.
That one I wrote in 2023.
Nice.
I realized there's a gap when it comes to financial knowledge. So I looked for a local book. Okay, they're there, but I was trying to get something simple that will take me through the whole personal finance process, starting with understanding my personal relationship with money, my personal, what is my personal money relationship, different life cycle, people from like age 20, age between 30 and 40, what they do, mistakes they do when it comes to money. We go to like budgeting, it's a flow of the whole system of personal finance in a very simple way and few practical examples. Yeah. So that is why I wrote the Art to Master the Finances.
I love it. I want to ask you a general question. So like I've read this book, but how important is it to actually calculate your net worth? Especially when you're you're trying to create goals, and of course know the type of portfolio you can invest in, your investment portfolio. Talk about this whole thing for knowing your net worth, because I feel like people just go about investing without actually knowing their actual worth. And how can they go about that?
So I always advise people to at least calculate their net worth every 6 months. It's sometimes difficult. Do it every year, especially during December. Do your net worth. And what some people may wonder how to calculate, it's about maybe assets subtracting your liabilities, and look at the investment side of your portfolio. State all the value in that portfolio, the current value. Some people put even cars, I'm telling you. And there's a huge debate. Is the house that you have built, that you live in, is it what, like, should you calculate it in your net worth? Some of us say no, some of us say yes. But should you? That is the big question. Because is it really your, anyway.
Unless you're planning to sell it maybe at some point. Yeah.
So just do an audit and always know your net worth. The liabilities might be more sometimes, and it's okay, because probably you took a debt and it's growing and it's giving you an income, but it hasn't surpassed something that's your assets, and it's okay. So even if you get a negative net worth, it's okay. Next year when you calculate, you'll realize that you're growing because the negative net worth has maybe gone to positive. If you have a positive net worth, you realize next year or after 6 months, like I have advised, you realize that like you're growing, and that is how you can measure if you're growing or not, or you're stagnant, through calculating net worth.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself out of writing these books? Let's dig deeper.
Wow.
What have you learned about Jane Gitiche?
Do I want to expose
the CEO,
myself?
author, you know what I mean? Investment strategist.
Why?
What have you learned yourself so far in this particular stage of your life?
Whoa. Hey, I've never gotten that question. All the interviews I've ever done.
We want to know.
When I wrote The Art to Master Your Finances, I realized, like I said, I took a debt somewhere.
Yeah.
I realized I wish someone had taught me earlier that I cannot take a debt without having a plan or a strategy. Along the way, also I think I learned a lot of basic finance when writing that book. And that is, I think we'll say, that is what shaped a lot of my behavior.
Yeah.
And putting structures in place. Why I do what I do, I didn't start doing just because I learned in finance in my undergrad, my izozote. No. I do what I do because of the many mistakes I've done.
Oh, interesting.
And most of the mistakes I've done, I realized them from writing that book.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah. So that is what I can say I learned about myself.
What do you think should be women's biggest takeaway off of this book? Wealth Her Way. Build
wealth your own way.
Oh, wow. Profound,
your dignity, your power, just do it your own way. Hey, your money.
I'm not a woman, but I relate with that one. Yeah, Jijue,
and don't build wealth just because someone else is doing. I know we went to class with Jane. Jane has done this. I need also to do that. I see my colleague maybe driving this. I also need to drive that. No. Sit down. If you love traveling, build that wealth to travel.
What? I love that.
Yeah.
And this one, biggest takeaway folks should have off of reading this amazing book, The Art to Master Your Finances.
When you read The Art to Master Your Finances, like I said, it's a whole personal finance, steps by steps. Yeah. I think people now will understand more in the side of finances in depth, how to reduce your debt if you're deep into debt, how to prepare for retirement. Even legacy planning is actually there in terms of even real estate. Do I build? Do I take a mortgage? Do I? So basically, people, I think I talk to everyone when I.
But have you got resources for kids?
That is what I'm working on.
Oh, you're working on something, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can tell you're very passionate about them.
That is what I'm working on actually right now. And I'll group them into different stages.
Nice.
Yes.
So we talked about the books.
Yes.
But now off of our conversation, money trauma, as we wrap up, for somebody listening to us right now, what should they walk away with this evening? They've been listening since 7.
Yeah.
What's the golden thing they should walk away with tonight?
Okay, I should ask you, what have you learned from this conversation?
Me, you already know mine. Build my wealth my own way.
So something out of the conversation we've been having, like money trauma. It's okay to accept that we have been going through all those traumas, but the first thing that you need to be is aware of where your trauma comes from. And then do something about it. Start like the emotional side. When it comes to money, what triggers your emotions? And what happens when you're at a very stressful moment, at a very lonely moment, and then money is mentioned? What do you do with that? So be aware of where your money trauma comes from.
It's true.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming through, Jane Gitiche. It's been a real one. I've learned a lot.
Karibu.
You know what I mean? I'm just reminded about some of the decisions that I had to make when I was growing up. Very, very powerful. But I feel like for me, one of the most important things my mom did to me while I was young is giving me access to good education and being around really successful people. That really helped me.
But then, there's also another trauma in terms of when it comes to education is everything.
Yeah, for real. Bust my bubble now. So what's up? You mean I'm traumatized somehow? No, but just elaborate. What do you mean?
But what I mean is, like, you see, when we were growing up, we were told the only option to get money is through education.
It's true.
So you find out, like, most, if you grew up in such a, society, or rather such a home, we focused so much on education too much.
Yeah.
That we didn't learn like there are other ways to make money.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about financial literacy and also the ability to learn.
Yes.
I feel like education is also the ability. You need to be open-minded. You could be educated, but you need to be open to learning new things.
Yes.
For example, like financial literacy.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so appreciative over the fact that you're here. The work that you're doing is so amazing. It's very timely, especially for this generation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some of these things they can't even get in school.
We have a masterclass starting
Talk about it?
on 4th.
Yeah, February 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. To April, isn't it?
To April, yes.
I know your work. So how can they join? How folks listening, how can they join the masterclass?
You can DM us from our social handles at either my own Jane Gitiche or Japesh Financial Solutions. Then we share a link. There are also, we have tried to advertise that class through the posters and all that. Or you can call us from our number 0743 000
Yeah. And for folks who want to get this book, these books actually, the Art to Master Your Finances and Wealth Her Way, where can they?
They are at Nuria bookstore, or you can even just call us and we deliver. We do deliveries everywhere.
Good stuff.
But if you're in town, you can pop in Nuria and get the book.
Nuria, amazing.
Yeah, or our offices at Ridgeways along Kembu Road.
Nice.
Yes.
Perfect. Once again, guys, that is Jane Wambui Gitiche. She's a finance and investment strategist, an author, transformative speaker, founder, and CEO. It has been about money trauma, the financial stories we inherited. Thank you so much for listening. We're coming back with more stories. Thank you so much, Jane.
Karibu sana.
What's your contact information? What's your social media?
Social media
website?
Social media. Mine is Jane Gitiche everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. For the company is Japesh Financial Solutions, also everywhere. YouTube is Japesh Financial Solutions also. And I told you we have a teen program. I mean, not teen, kids program coming in
Tell
April.
me again. Tell me again.
Yes, we have a kids program, like a kids financial training program that is coming in April. But we have grouped the kids because 6 to 10 is different from, and for why it's a bit different, it will be virtual, but the last class will always be physical. And we have a lot of activities that we do in the class. So it's like 20 minutes learning, 30 minutes practical side. So depending on the level, the higher they go, it will be more learning than the practical side.
So it's fun.
But it's fun and easy to get. And we are hoping we will have finished our books for the kids before that class.
Exactly. Good luck.